Um, Welcome everyone to this online healing class. And tonight it's very exciting today. It's very exciting to me what comes to me in preparation for this class. It's always like I have no idea, but it will come, and it surely did. So today is really like. What is being said in the Contemplative Life. It's like preparing the soil. That's what this is about. This is what that is, preparing the soil. So what is necessary for you to prepare, to become prepared, to really dive deep into the transformational process, or to dive deep into healing. And okay. So I'm going to use a couple of things for that. One of which is Contemplative Life. I will read a little bit of that. I'm trying to shut this off. Yeah. I tried to mute you, Sean. That's kind of busy tonight. That's great. So thank you everyone for joining. We will use the Contemplative Life and Consciousness Unfolding of Joel. And so where do we start off? Like I said, it has to do with preparing the soil, becoming ready, and feeling that desire from inside to do the work. And it's a really like an undoing altogether. It's like you think you have to do something for it, but that is more like looking at what is it actually that I don't have to do. Because as a human being, you think like you have to do things and then you earn something. And here in like God is giving no matter what. So that's a totally different story. It has nothing to do with earning, so the whole exchange idea is gone out of it. And that's very new for a human mind, because we do everything with a reason. We do everything to earn it. And you'll see, and Joe is talking about it too. It's like, no, wait a minute. You don't have to earn this. Preparing the soil is more like get stuff that doesn't need to belong in the soil, get it out. You don't need that. And so I will start reading a little bit from Preparing the Soil from Contemplative Life. And then start from there. Preparing the soil for spiritual fruitage. This assurance cannot be given to us from a book, even though we may read comforting passages there, and this assurance cannot even be given us by man, even though we may hear him speak words of faith and trust. This assurance must come welling up in us from within ourselves. That is what I mean by preparation of the soil. Those of us who are devoting some part of our day and night to God realization are preparing ourselves for this very revelation or assurance that inevitably comes from within. Paul told us that as creatures, that is, as human beings, we are not under the law of God, neither indeed can be. It is only as we prepare ourselves that this inner confidence and conviction eventually dawn. Yeah, see, and that is a beautiful way of saying it. And those are really nice words. It's like it cannot be given to you. Now you will have to do the work. Yeah, this will come from within if you allow this to happen to you. And yeah, what do you need to do for that? Well, it is like I said, it would be easier for you to. You will have to realize it, and realizing it is by looking at it yourself, is by doing some practice, is by sitting still and being really, say, patiently waiting for the voice, for the still small voice that is speaking to you. And so there's a lot of things that you don't have to do. So like I said, you don't have to earn this. It's not that you have to earn this. Like the harder I work, the more exercises I do, the longer I meditate, the better it will be. It's like, no, that is just confusion. That has nothing to do with spiritual fruitage. That is not what it is about. So it is, say, coming from within your desire, your pure desire for that. And being willing to use some time in the day for it, to sit still for a moment, or to look at what you're actually doing, that will have an impact. So one of the other things that I wanted to read, and this is just like a preparation for what I'm going to share with you, is this part where Joel is talking about that you don't have to earn it. I will do a little short piece. You cannot separate your life or your mind except in belief. And when you do that, there's a funeral. But you bring about that funeral by accepting the world. Believe in separation between God and God's creation. Since God is the consciousness of you, and since that consciousness is unfolding and revealing itself as form, which we call creation, you cannot separate God from its creation. That is why the sun and the stars and the moon keep going on and on and on and on. Nobody believes that you can be separate, that you can separate God from the sun, moon, and stars. People only believe that you can separate God from your body. So get over any such belief and remember, I and the Father are one. God is the substance and the intelligence of this universe. And that means God is the substance and intelligence of my being and my body. My body is the temple of the living God, and God is flowing through it. All that the Father has is mine, not to be demonstrated, not to be achieved, but mine now, because of my relationship of sonship. Notice that you do not even have to be what is called a good person. Do not condemn yourself. Realize that it was your ignorance that led you into whatever error you may have been guilty of indulging. That same ignorance led you into the belief that your body was something apart from God, and that you could do what you wanted to do with it. No, that you can never do. Your body is the temple of the living God, and you must treat it as if it were of God, and let it show forth the glory that is God. So this is quite something that Joel is saying here. So it's like you have nothing to say about being the Son of God. You are. It's like there's no choice in it. You cannot. You have nothing to say about it because you came from God. It's like it's your Father. So you cannot be without a Father because you are the Son. It's like that. You have nothing to say about that. That is just a given. And at the same time, you have all kinds of ideas about who you think you are, like he says too. Like, you don't even have to be what you call a good person, or you don't have to be brave, or don't have to, it's like now all these human ideas we have about it, maybe heard about it in church when you were a child. You have to be a good person, you have to do this, otherwise God becomes like angry, and you will not get what is your, you will not go to heaven, or something like that. It's like, that's been said over and over. It was always something to be afraid of. Because if you weren't doing the right thing, or being the right person, then there would be no chance for you to come to heaven, but you would end up in flames and in hell. So that's a human idea that has nothing to do with God. So it is just a condemnation about yourself. So in this week I came along a lot of ideas that you can hold about yourself. It's like all these ideas that you come up in your so-called human life. It's like you think there's such thing as failure. You think you can fail. And coming from wholeness, it is impossible to fail. It's like it's impossible for you to fail. And so I can give you some more of these statements. They are really powerful to take a look at and see like what comes up in you if you really start to take a look at them and let come up inside of you what is your resistance to it. So I will bring up some more. How about this one? It is not possible for you to harm anyone or anything. And so that is quite something. So it's not possible for you to harm anyone or anything. And does that mean that you have to try? It's like, no, that not at all. That has nothing to do with it. It's just, this is the reality of you. Like, you cannot harm anything or anyone. That's a given. But you might believe that you can. And another one is this one. It is not possible for you to suffer the dream of separation. That is not possible for you. It's not possible for you to suffer a dream of separation. You cannot be separate from God. And this is a big one, because everyone has ideas that he's for a moment separate from God and everything, and feeling all alone and all that. But see, that is not a real state for you. It's like it's impossible for you to dream a dream of separation. I'm just bringing up some more. I raced through this. I know that. I'm conscious of that. But I will get back to it at the end. It is not possible for you to taste genuine loss. It is not possible for me to taste genuine loss. It is not possible for me to be without love. It is not possible for me to taste death. It is not possible for me to be apart from my Creator. That's just not possible. There's no moment where you are apart from your Creator. So it's pretty wild. And these statements were given me by Master Jesus, or Yeshua, if you want, in the way of transformation. It's like these exercises are being given to take a look at that. What does it do with you? What comes up? Like all these ideas that you have about failure, about death, about guilt, in fact. All these ideas it is basically impossible for you to experience that. You can believe it, it can be a belief of you, it can be your experience, but that is not the reality of who you are. So all these ideas need to go. And that is what Joel was saying is like the preparation of the soil for spiritual fruitage. So all these ideas need to go before you can have an experience of direct contact with God. And this goes step by step. It's not that you have to do it all at once or whatever. No, it is coming from your desire, and it's been given you. You want it, and you take time to let this happen to you. And in the meantime, this is occurring to you, and you have nothing to say about it. It's inevitable that it's going to occur. The only thing you can do is delay the process. So that's quite something. That's quite something. So always there's more. The more stuff that needs to be undone, more stuff that you have to take a look at. It's like you react to a certain situation because you think it's not right what's occurring. No, and then you step back for a moment and you take another look at it. And you discover like, oh my God, I really thought I was right here. But I have to give up this belief. Like I react to something that is I think is outside myself, and separate my brother off of me, and that's just not possible because my brother is myself. So you see that in your reaction, in your so-called almost like a natural response for a human being, you do something that is absolutely impossible. You think your brother's outside, you don't want it, and you push it away in that sense. So luckily you can take another look at it and you will see it differently, because it has no reality what you see and how you react in the first place. And it's not that you don't have to react, it's happening anyway. It will do something with you. It is triggering you because this situation that's occurring to you right in front of your nose, right in front of your relationship, right in front of any encounter that you have, is exactly for that reason happening. To see that you're not separate from God and that there are no exceptions whatsoever. So this is like a perfect scenario for your spiritual fruitage. It sounds like a lofty way of like doing some kind of technique and suddenly being out there in between the stars. But no, this is really like doing the dirty work and taking a real honest look at yourself. What am I doing? What am I responding to? How am I responding? With what reason? To prove that I'm right, or to prove that the other guy is wrong, and to think there's another guy outside of myself? So yeah, in the unfolding of consciousness, like the other book was called, The Unfolding of Consciousness, it's really like an unfolding. You've heard the parallels with like an onion, peeling an onion, and all these layers that get off. And it is like that because it goes deeper and deeper into it all the time. Because you become more and more willing. You become more and more willing to accept this, to be undone, and to say like, okay, Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit, and do what needs to be done. Like the other thing that I realize is that you look for comfort. Like no one can help looking for comfort. You look for comfort, but where are you looking for that? So are you looking for that in the world that might work for a moment, but then that changes too? Like for myself, if I speak honestly about it, it is like I'm still looking for that in the world, but that's only for a short while, because I discovered, like, no, the only comfort that there really is, that is really comforting me, is when I go inside. So these moments are more necessary for me to have this comfort, to be in communion, and to feel safe, and to feel open, and to experience love. So I'm not looking for it that much anymore outside myself. Step by step, the time that I'm looking for that outside myself is shorter and shorter. So it comes back to me. It, I'm going more inside myself, where the only place is where you can find the comfort. So these are all ideas about yourself. You thought you could find it everywhere, and now you're being brought back to yourself. It's like, no, it's happening right here. It's happening right here. I don't have to go anywhere for it. I just have to take a look what I'm doing. And all the situations, all the encounters I have during the day are helping me to realize that there's nothing outside of consciousness, but there's also nothing separate from God, not even my body. So you find it back in all different aspects of yourself. So yeah, it's not possible for you to be separate from your Creator, because He created you. That's logic, but at the same time, when you really take a look at it, it is quite overwhelming to realize it. So it's not possible for you to experience genuine loss or to taste death. It's just not possible for you to do that. You don't have to earn the love of God. Like you thinking that you have to do, or that you're not good enough for it now, is just a judgment about yourself. So if we go through this and you allow this to really connect with you, then there's nothing stopping you from say having an experience of heaven, going inside and having an experience of the love of God. So yeah, this is the healing. This is all the healing that can occur. The only question is then, are you willing to accept the love of God right now and just let it affect you and be in communication with it? See, and then at the same time, it's not possible for you not to experience that. You are in communication with God. So you don't have to get nervous about it in that sense. You don't have to get nervous about it. It's the most natural thing that can occur to you. You just have to let go of some beliefs you hold about yourself, that you're not good enough, that you can be guilty, that you have to earn it, and on and on and on. All the things that I said just before. So are you ready to receive the grace of God? Are you ready to accept that inside yourself? So thank you so much for joining today. So did that healing occur just right there? Did that just occur, that healing? Yes, it did. Yes, absolutely, it did. This was God communicating with you. Yes. Yeah, you don't have to doubt your experience. No, you are good enough for it. You don't have to earn it. You're just connecting. You're just communicating with your source. It's like the rays of the sun cannot be without the sun. That's the same with you. If God is the sun, you are one of its beams, and you can only shine your light because of your source. It is not your light. So yeah, incredible journey, isn't it? It is an incredible journey, this whole undoing and realizing that actually nothing occurred, that actually you are extending the love of God, that is shining right through you. That is so amazing. So thank you so much for joining with me in this today. It is so lovely to extend this. And it's so exciting to have experiences of grace and to be folded inside out. That is so lovely. So I'll read a little bit from the Contemplative Life. Okay, so here we go back to the idea of soil, because we're still preparing the soil. The Master gave it to us this way, Joel says. There are 3 types of soil: the barren soil, the rocky, and the fertile. As human beings, we are the barren soil, entirely separate and apart from God, in our own belief. And God has no way at all of announcing himself within us. There's no way for the revelation of God to come to us. So this is really the barren soil of human existence. After we have started out on our spiritual path, it is not long before we find that we have become stony soil. In other words, we do have realizations of truth occasionally. We have revelations and demonstrations, and we have a glimpse of something, and then it is gone from us. It does not remain with us too long. We have a demonstration of harmony, and then all of a sudden that seems to be far in the past. But as we continue to abide in the Word and let the Word abide in us, as we continue to seek for deeper and deeper revelations and realizations of God and prayer, eventually we will find that we are becoming more fertile soil, and the seed of truth can now take root in us. Every word of truth that we read, every word of truth that we hear, every word of truth that we declare is a seed of truth. And the further we go in our study and in our meditations, the more fertile our consciousness becomes, and the more of these seeds will take root and bear fruit. We all go through much the same experience. Everyone in the past has gone through these same experiences, but eventually we all come to the realization that to know Him aright is life eternal. This I would call the greatest revelation ever given to man. To know Him aright is life eternal, life harmonious, and life perfect. So, and to come to this, you will have to open to it, to receive it. And the opening is being present with me here, right now. It's just to be open for it. What do you have to lose? What do you want to hold on to? What else do you want to do? Where do you find your comfort? Where else do you find your comfort? It's like I cannot give that to you, but you know where to look for it now. You remember where to look for it. Like Joel said, we have our little experiences, we have our glimpses of beautiful experiences, and a moment later we're just forgotten about it and it seemed like it never happened. And we don't even believe, actually, that we can go and have an experience again. That is the human mind kicking in again. So now we need these reminders all the time. By sitting still, by reading a little bit, by meditating for a moment. It's very simple. It just has, it has to start with your desire that you wanted that to happen to you. So thank you so much for joining with me tonight. And on Wednesday there will be a meditation class again. Around 1 p.m. CST, so that's in Europe, like European time, it is 8 p.m. And after this meeting, there will be a joining and sharing moment where we meet again if you want, and you can share your own experiences or read something or share something with each other. So the only thing that you have to do now then is to log in again, or to call in again, and you are part of that. So thank you so much for joining, and see you maybe after this. Okay, have a good day. Thank you so much.